Woman, I'm a-coming if you just all wait a minute.
Jedediah, hurry up! All these fine folks come to hear a story.
I'm a-coming, I'm a-coming. You and your stories.
But this just ain't any story. This story is true. The fact of the matter is, you wouldn't believe how far one little positive gesture can go in someone's life. That's what this story's all about. Hey, let's go back to 1936. Let's go back to 1936. The scene is set, so get ready to listen. Let's go back to 1936.
Woman, will you hurry up with the introduction? Right?
See, the times we're living in ain't very easy on the wallet. Most folks ain't got no time for good gestures or fanciful living. With exceptions, of course. Like a preacher. With inheritance. Like the one coming this way right now. There's a preacher on a midnight walk down an empty street. His brown hair has turned to gray, along with his once colorful ability to believe.
God, I just don't understand anymore. I know your children aren't meant to always understand everything, but why must they suffer so? I do what I can to help the members of the church who are in need, which is, well, all of them. I volunteer at the soup kitchen. It's just not possible to help everyone in this entire city. God, I pray and ask you to relieve your children of their poverty, renew the love that once filled our hearts. And God, if not everybody, please, just give someone a miracle. What's this? A penny. Only someone with my wealth would leave even a penny unnoticed in his pocket, while others go without food, shelter. Well, I don't need it. Maybe somebody else will find it. Get lucky. If giving hundreds to charity isn't making a difference, maybe this lone penny will.
Thinks one day I'll witness a miracle that cracks an old brown penny to the ground. You can barely make out the number 1896. The preacher just laughs and says, I'll see you around. I'll just leave you right here. Maybe someone will find you heads up and pick you up. If I could give anybody just a little bit of luck, get them to keep their heads up, it'd be just my luck, and they keep their heads up. Oh, boy, did that preacher care for all the people. And how miserable and distraught it made him to see them suffer. You know, the preacher was losing his faith in God.
Like I'm losing faith in your cooking.
Little did the preacher know that God had a plan for him and for the people. He works in the darndest of ways, he does. Ah, looks like the sun is up, and we've got ourselves another friend. Little girl on her way to school, wearing a torn-up dress. Mama had to sell the car today. She said the world was in such a mess.
Back to school today, in this ugly old dress of mine. Mama says I'm pretty no matter what dress I wear. That's not what Jenny Meyer and all her friends say. Just wait until they see that I've had to walk over a mile to school today. They'll know that we don't have no car. Ever since Daddy took off with any money we had left, we just can't afford it. There goes that rag doll. If she gets any poorer, she'll have to sell her dress and join a nudist colony. Oh, I just detest the whole thing. Dear God, I really don't ask for very much, but I've been a good little girl. So please, God, pretty please, with maybe just a drop of honey on top, if you can afford it. Just send me one friend. Oh, how I want to wear sparkly dresses like Jenny Meyer does. Just one friend. Thank you, God. Oh? 1896. Well, it was tails up. Mama says it's no good unless you find it heads up. Well, I'll turn it over. Maybe I'll be able to bring somebody else good luck.
She thinks one day I'll have myself a friend. She flips that penny to the other side. She can barely make out the numbers. 1896. Strides off, she's got nothing to hide. She says, I'll leave you right here. Maybe someone will find you heads up. They'll find you heads up. If I could give anybody just a little bit of luck, it'd be just my luck, and they keep their heads up. So that little girl went on to school to endure those mean girls and their hateful words, never quite forgetting the plea she had made earlier that morning. She couldn't help but to have hope that God would help her in some way. And if not, maybe he'd give a little help to somebody else. Later that day, I believe part of her prayer would be answered. There's a young woman searching for a job, just trying to make ends meet. No, she can't let down her girl, the blessing that she has to feed. Oh, every night she prays for someone to set her free. She says, I know it's selfish, Lord, but send an angel to watch over me. I believe that should be any second now. Ooh, Mother of Mercy. There's a lawyer walking the other way. He can't take it anymore. His client has been a hard one, and his life feels like such a bore. Oh, every night he prays for something to believe. He says, God, this job is fun and all, but it's become our only family. They both thought what I need is a miracle. As an old brown penny stared up from the ground, they could barely make out the numbers. 1896. So they thought, why not? And both bent down.
Oh,
Well, I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to get in your way.
Well, not at all, sir. I was just bending over to reach for that penny there.
Of course. Well, I'm afraid that if you want to take this penny, then you're going to have to come along with me and prove that it rightfully belongs to you. I'm a lawyer, you see, and it is my duty to uphold the law.
You look like a fraud to me. Well, I guess I'll have to come along and see if you can convince me that you're a real lawyer. As a loyal citizen, it is my duty to uphold the law. And fraud is a crime.
Very well, then. So what brings you here today?
I was looking for work. I had to sell my car, and now I have to walk everywhere.
You know what happens from there. The man and the woman were in awe of each other at first sight. The flame was lit the moment they laid eyes upon one another, and that flame never stopped burning. So, of course, they got married, not a month later, on the very spot that they had met. Whew. It was a beautiful wedding, so filled with love and joy. I don't see how this could be anything other than God's answer to their prayers. The man and the woman, of course, had each other to lean on when times got tough. And the little girl, she adored her new daddy. For the wedding, he bought her a pretty new dress. Before long, the couple would be blessed with a baby. And the little girl would be blessed with a lifelong friend. And as for the preacher, he had heard the story of how these two came to be, and he knew it was his penny from 1896 that had brought them together. Said we meet right about here, where we spotted a penny heads up. Yeah, we saw it heads up. We both reached right down to pick it up, and it was just our luck. Now we keep our heads up. More came from this one positive gesture than the preacher had ever fathomed, and he knew he had witnessed a miracle.